Hey everybody, I'm Scott Weichel. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday night. I have a special guest tonight that's got a brand new album out called Honky Tonks and Heartaches. And that title says it all, folks. This is a solid, traditional, hardcore country music album, and I absolutely love it. I've already been playing the songs on my shows, and I think this is a fantastic album that really deserves a lot of attention, and I hope you folks will go and pick up a copy of this. And I've got the lady that put this all together and is a beautiful singer with me tonight. We're going to talk about the album and play a whole bunch of the cuts for you. It's a pleasure to welcome Kristi Kalyn to My Kind of Country. Kristi, how are you tonight?
Hi, Scott. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and it's so nice to have you on the show. We've been planning this for a while, and it finally worked out.
I know. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be a part of your show. I listen to My Kind of Country, and like I was saying to you earlier that it's country music the way it should be.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's certainly what you have on your new album. And I've got to tell you, this is one of those standout albums for me. I really love this project, and I'm so thankful that you sent it to me.
Well, thank you for playing it. I'm grateful that I can just get back out there and get some of this good music out there, because country music, traditional country music, is still alive, I believe, and
Amen.
So I just appreciate you supporting us independent artists and playing our music and spinning my records for sure.
Well, it's my honor. Folks, you can go to Kristi's website. It's KristiKalyn.com. And she's also on Facebook for Kristi Kalyn Music. And you can also download this album at Apple and Spotify and all those great places that we get music.
Oh, yeah.
We will have all that information on our Facebook page for you, too, so you can get a copy of this fantastic album. And as of right now, when we're doing this interview, Kristi, you have the #1 album on the Indie Express charts, and I think that is fantastic.
Well, I know. What an honor. I just never expected that, and it's just exciting for me, to get back out there and have this music that I love and grew up on. My dad was a singer, traditional country music singer, had a band before I was born. You and I have a lot in common in that end.
Yeah.
I just, it's just born and bred into me, and my dad put me on stage when I was 2. We were live on KGM AM radio in Fort Worth, and I was singing Roly Poly,
Oh, wow.
on his leg with Bob Wills and Playboys. Now, let's don't think about age or anything. Let's just, but yeah, that was I guess that was my first appearance. I was 2. I couldn't talk, but I could sing.
Isn't that something? Wow. And your dad also worked with Johnny Duncan too, right?
Yeah, Johnny Duncan. Wow, what a great singer. And yeah, he had the opportunity. Well, he did play with him a lot, and they were good buddies, running buddies, and I'd always catch them out at the honky tonks together, and he had the opportunity to go out on the road with him, but he just he couldn't leave my sister and I, and so he chose us over the music, which is great. But I'm grateful for that, but I understand, if he would have said, yeah, I'm taking this deal, so.
Now, you had mentioned to me before that you have done a couple albums prior to this one, too, right?
Back in '98, I had an album that I recorded in Nashville called New Kind of Cowgirl, and that had 10 songs on it, and that was produced by Kurt Ryle. Do you know who Kurt Ryle is?
Oh, I know Kurt Ryle real well. He is,
oh, yeah.
Man,
yeah.
Black Ribbon Records. I'll tell you what, he is
Yeah.
still cranking out some fantastic music on
Oh, I know.
his label.
I know, yeah. He's awesome. So, anyway, I put that record out. We did really well with it. I went overseas and toured with the King of Rockabilly, Matt Curtis, and we were gone for a little over a month recording over there and just selling records like crazy. And then several years passed, and I recorded back in 2011. I recorded "It's Not Over." That was the second album entitled "It's Not Over." And I did a lot of good things. We toured and did toured all over the United States and with that record, and you know, I've done a lot of demos and recorded on other people's albums, you know, in between. And,
Sure.
but I did have, you know, I had a setback as far as just personal. I had to stop playing music for a couple of years just for personal reasons, and so that's why I'm back out there now. Everything's good, and I'm ready to go. You know, I live and breathe, you know, traditional country, classic music, and you know, I grew up on George Jones and Merle Haggard and Ray Price. You know, I've worked with Ray Price and Hank Thompson. You know, Hank and I were real close. I've worked with him on the stage several times, and his widow, Ann Thompson, she's like a second mother to me, and his song "Wild Side of Life" is a bonus song on this Honky Tonk Hearts album. But Chuck and I rewrote it in third person, and so it's really the only version out there, you know, that's written like that. And it's a pretty good little version. I'm real proud of it. Although it is a bonus song on that record, it should be number one on that record, you know. So,
well, let's make it the number one song that we're going to play off this for you right now, folks.
Yeah, all right.
This is Wild Side of Life. This is Kristi Kalyn from her brand new album, Honky Tonks and Heartaches. KristiKalyn.com is the website, and we're going to come back and talk to Kristi some more. Take a listen to this, folks.
You wouldn't read his letter if he wrote you. You asked him not to call you on the phone, but there's something he's wanting to tell you. So he wrote it in the words of his song. He didn't know God made honky-tonk angels. He might have known you'd never make a wife. You gave up the only one that ever loved you, and went back to the wild side of life. Gay nightlife has lured you to the places where the wine and liquor flow, where you wait to be anybody's baby and forget the truest love you'll ever know. Honky-tonk angels. He might have known
All right, that is brand new music from Kristi Kalyn from her album Honky Tonks and Heartaches. And Kristi, there's a really great theme on this album. There's a lot of shuffles on here. That's where it's at for me. You really captured it on this project.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that second tune on there, Lost in the Shuffle, that was, Benny MacArthur with Ace in the Hole, George Strait's band. That was the first time I'd ever heard that way back. And, he put that out, gosh, I want to say in the early 70s, late 70s, maybe even maybe later than that. And I called him, and I've done some shows with them, and I called him, and I said, I really want to cut that song. And he said, you should. He goes, no female artist has ever done that tune. Finally, I put it on the record, and it sure came out really good, and I'm so proud of it. I'm proud of the whole record, and I'm telling you what, Chuck Hancock, he is an awesome producer, and I learned a lot, in this record, and he really put his heart and soul into this. I'm real proud of it. So, and then there's Yes Ma'am on there. I'm sure people out there don't even know who Leona Williams is, huh?
Well, the people that listen to my show do, because I'll tell you what, Leona is a dear.
Yeah, I know, right? No, she is my favorite. I have three of them out there, and that's Leona, Dawn Sears, and Rhonda Vincent. And you just don't get any better than that.
That's right. Well, there's an interesting story. This Leona comes in and sings on part of this. This is kind of her signature song, Yes Ma'am, You Found Me in a Honky Tonk. And tell me the story of how this came about.
Oh, well, I was out in Nashville last summer starting this record, and she was out in the same studio recording, and she's got a new record that has yet to be released. And so, like I said, she's in the studio. I called her out in the parking lot, and I said, hey, Leona, I said, I'm about to go in and cut Yes Ma'am. And she said, oh, you are? And I said, yeah, I would love for you to sing on it with me. And she said, right now? And I said, yeah, right now. And she said, let's do it. I've got time. So we went in, and, oh, man, I was just jumping up and down, just so proud of that song. Because I sing that, 2-3 times a night in my shows because people, love it. And Leona used to come to Fort Worth, and we'd play at Pearl's Dance Hall and Stockyards, and she'd come in, and so her and I would sing Yes Ma'am together, and, I just love her. And so I was just so thrilled to have her, put her in the last line of the song. It's really good. So I hope people love it.
Yes, ma'am, I met him in a honky-tonk, and I'm sure I'm not the kind of girl you want your son to know. Yes, ma'am, I know you think that it's all wrong, and if he felt the way you do, I go back where I belong. Oh, I know he deserves the best, and there's better girls than me. I don't want to quarrel with you. I love him, can't you see? Yes, ma'am, I met him where the lights are low, and I've seen the other side of town where good girls shouldn't go. Girls than me. I don't want to quarrel with you. I love him, can't you see? Oh, crowds, but someone just like your loving son helped to show me how. Yes, someone just like your loving son helped to show me how. We were dancing for 4 shuffles at the Blue Bonnet Inn. Me and my darling, another couple and their best friend. She was a blue-eyed Texas beauty, and he fell for all her lines. When she tapped me on my shoulder during Heart Over Mine. And I got lost in the shuffle last night. Now I'm Mrs. Wrong, she's Mrs. Right. She took him out of reach and out of sight, and I got lost in the shuffle last night. Now I'm sitting at our table drinking a Milwaukee beer, thinking about how quickly a romance can disappear. 'Cause a honky-tonk shuffle, pretty words, and 4/4 time took me out of the picture during Heart Over Mine. And I got lost in the shuffle last night. Now I'm Mrs. Wrong, she's Mrs. Right. She took him out of reach and out of sight, and I got lost in the shuffle last night. She took him out of reach and out of sight, and I got lost in the shuffle last night.
Well, you've also tipped your hat to some other country music greats on this project, and one of them is I'll Go to a Stranger, which, of course, the great Johnny Bush recorded, and you've got your version on this project.
Yeah, I love Johnny Bush. You know, he's the king of the honky-tonks, and, of course, you know, he played around here in Fort Worth all the time, and, you know, just around Texas, and just one of my favorites. And, you know, every time I saw Johnny, and we would, you know, sing on the same shows together, he'd say, "Well, why don't you come over here, darling, and sit in my lap and take a picture?" So I don't know how many pictures I've got of Johnny and I, where I'm sitting in his lap with either A.J. Lockett, you know, standing next to us, or somebody else in the picture. But yeah, I should have made a little collage on my album here of nothing but me and Johnny Bush pictures. But I love Johnny Bush. It doesn't get any better than that.
With someone else, perhaps in time, I'll find a little peace of mind, and maybe someday I'll get over you. And if in time I hear your name, it may be hard to bear the pain, but I'll go to a stranger before I'll come to you. For a stranger to turn away from you won't be an easy thing to do, but I'll go to a stranger before I'll come to you. More than you have ever done for me, and to turn away from you won't be an easy thing to do, but I'll go to a stranger before I'll come to you. I'll go to a stranger before I'll come to you.
Well, you've also tipped your hat to the great Claude Gray, and another gentleman of country music that is still sounding fantastic, and he's been on my show several times. Great guy. And you covered his, I guess, another signature song, My Ears Should Burn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, Claude and I were really good friends, and I'll never forget it. He came down to my hometown here in Texas, and he wanted me to drive him to South Texas to one of Curtis Potter's benefits that we were both singing on. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget it. He pulled up in his white, like, Ford LTD. It's like a 70-something model. Had the red Naugahyde seats. I mean, that sucker was just pristine. And I was like, yeah, I get to drive this car. And it's Claude Gray's car, you know? I mean...
There you go.
Anyway, but yeah, Claude, he's just what a great singer, and this song, I really love this song. I'm, you know, another one that I sing in my shows all the time, and also, you know, the great Dawn Sears, she covered it as well, and she knocked it out of the park.
Sometimes my memories let me hold and kiss you. They're just lending me the things I'd live without. And it's my fault that I can't really hold you. And my ears should burn when fools are talked about. What made me think I craved another's kisses? Another so unworthy, I found out. And my arms should have no right to hold another. And my ears should burn when fools are talked about. Calling to me. He loves me, there's no doubt. But my lips have no right to ask forgiveness. And my ears should burn when fools are talked about. What made me think I craved another's kisses? another so unworthy, there's no doubt. And my arms should have no right to hold another, and my ears should burn when fools are talked about. Yes, my ears should burn when fools are talked about.
Kristi, tell me about some of the fantastic players you've got on this project. You've got some great musicians on here.
Oh, gosh, I mean, like, every single one of them on here is just, they're just top-notch Nashville, musicians, and been around in the industry forever, played on everybody's record. Mike Shrimp is, he's the engineer on it, as well as he played keys, keyboard on it, piano keyboard, and he played Conway Twitty for a big part of Conway's career.
Yeah.
And then Mike Baker on lead guitar. He's just a monster guitar player, and he was with Vern Gosdin, and we did. Chuck and I did the duet on Till the End, and I'm sitting in the room next to Baker, and he said, "Hey, do you want me to play some of the original licks from Vern Gosdin? Because it's been covered several times." And I said, "Absolutely, or I'm not doing it." So, because I'm a huge Vern Gosdin fan, and just that old '70s, '80s sound. And so when he did it, I just sat there, and I thought I was going to cry. I just had chill bumps all over me. Some of those original guitar licks that he put in there. And then there's Doug Jernigan on steel guitar.
Man.
Of course, Doug is just, he's taught so many, steel guitar players that have come up in the industry that are, great themselves. And Doug's just, I can't even tell you, this whole record, there was so much emotion in this record. Every emotion you can think of, but hearing that steel guitar cry, I laid down and cried basically. He's just phenomenal. Some of these licks that he put in on these songs, and just poured his heart and soul into it. And then we've got Jordan Larson, and Jordan is an upcoming fiddle player, just fantastic. He is Mike Shrimp's son-in-law. So he's done a lot of work in Nashville, and of course Mike's wife Nita, which is Jordan's mother, she's the most sought-out background vocalist in Nashville. I'm telling you, I just got the best players, and I'm so grateful and thankful. Loved every second of it.
Well, and it shows in the music on here. You can tell that it's not just something you went in and did. It's got a soul all of its own, I guess is the way that I can put it.
Well, thank you. Yes, I will treasure this record, and like I said, all the emotions that went into it. I'm so very proud of this record. This is my best one, yet, that I'm so proud of. And, the cover of this album, a lot of people don't know, I dedicated the album to my father, of course, and in the, music business, and my two nephews that passed away, and they both came to me, in a butterfly form. And so on the cover of this album, there's two butterflies. Briggs, my youngest nephew, he came to me in a white butterfly, and then my oldest nephew, Tyler, came to me in a monarch butterfly. So there are butterflies on this album, on the cover of the album, with a big feather in between, because that's me. So there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of emotion.
I did want to mention, too, you talked about Chuck Hancock earlier, and you did a couple of really fantastic duets with him, too.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and, he penned, and I had some doings in some of the songs. He penned 3 songs on, and That is Can't Make It Past Your Memory, and then Take Me Back, and When Lonely Gets Too Loud. And then he and I did 2 duets on Helping Me Get Over You and Till the End. So, I mean, he not only produced it, he sang on it and put his heart and soul into it.
Well, Kristi, what's coming up for you as far as getting out and promoting this album? And are you doing some tour dates and stuff like that?
Well, we're trying to put a tour together overseas, and as soon as we can get they can open up over there, and the COVID kind of set aside, then we're going to try to get over there and do a tour. And because traditional country music, not only is it alive here in the States, it's just they live and breathe it over there, and we've got to get it out there. We got to get out there and play for these people, and I've got some private shows and private shows in Texas, that I've got coming up. And
fantastic.
so basically, we're out doing that, and we're going to just try to get this album promoted and get it out there.
Folks, the website is KristiKalyn.com, and she is also on Facebook, Kristi Kalyn Music. We will put all that information on our Facebook page for My Kind of Country. We're going to play some more cuts from this project for you right now as we continue with My Kind of Country. And Kristi, it has been an honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time tonight.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, Kristi, thank you so much for being on the show. Here's some more great music from Honky Tonks and Heartaches from Kristi Kalyn as we continue with My Kind of Country. Kristi, thanks again.
Thank you.
If I never see your loving face again, I'll go on loving you till the end. And if my broken heart and I don't find a way to mend, I'll go on loving you till the end.
The years and miles may separate you from me.
The pain may lessen more as time goes by.
But as for me, those memories will never dim.
And I'll go on loving you till the end. If we're ever free to love again, I know
Straight to your waiting arms is where I'll go.
and there I'll stay forever, and I'll prove to you again I'll go on loving you the day that I first met you. You were all I ever wanted, but as time went by, you saw a change in me. I can't explain the reason why I cheated and I told you lies. Now you're gone and your memories haunting me. Take me back in your arms, let's start all over. Let's go back to where our love began. Take me back to yesterday, a time when you were mine. Come on home and let me hold you close tonight. Sat down and wrote a letter. I could say it's so much better, that I'm sorry for the hell I put you through. I can't change a single thing I've done. From now on you'll be the only one, and I hope you're missing me like I'm missing you. Start all over. Let's go back to where our love began. Take me back to yesterday, a time when you were mine. Come on home and let me hold you close tonight. All over. Let's go back to where our love began. Take me back to yesterday, a time when you were mine. Come on home.